Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today is day 1 of my 12-day annual reset series. And before we do anything else, before we plan, before we set goals, before we talk about vision or habits or routines, we need to pause. This video is not about productivity, it's not about getting ahead, and it's definitely not about rushing into a new year just because the calendar changed. Today is about honoring the season that just ended, because you cannot step into a new vision while still carrying an unprocessed year. I've already done my deep journaling, prayer, and reflection privately, so today I'm teaching what to write. I'm sharing the framework and the heart posture behind it, so you can move through this day with clarity instead of pressure. Before I wrote a single goal, before I touched my planner, before I even thought about 2026, I gave myself what I call a sacred pause. And when I say pause, I don't just mean slowing down for 5 minutes. I mean intentionally creating space, emotional space, mental space, spiritual space. No planning, no fixing, no making sense of anything. I literally sat with God and asked one question, and then I stayed there long enough to actually listen. The question was, Lord, what are you trying to show me about this past season? Not what I did wrong, not what I should have done better, just what are you showing me? This matters because if you skip stillness, your plans will come from anxiety instead of alignment. When I reflected on this past season, I wasn't trying to analyze myself or pick everything apart. I wasn't looking for perfection. I was looking for truth. And what came up were things like realizing I had been operating from burnout instead of obedience, seeing how certain doors closing actually protected me, and noticing growth that didn't feel impressive at the time but mattered deeply. Reflection isn't about reliving the past, it's about slowing down long enough to ask, what did the season teach me and who did it shape me into? Because if you don't name the lesson, you'll repeat the cycle. Trust me. I also made space to acknowledge my wins, not just accomplishments, but internal wins. Wins like choosing rest when I wanted to push, walking away from things that no longer aligned, and trusting God even when I didn't understand the timing. And I think this part is important because so many of us move into a new year already feeling behind. But gratitude closes a season properly. When you don't stop to recognize how far you've come, you carry a sense of lack into everything you build next. I've also been very intentional about what I'm not carrying forward. Some habits don't get access to me anymore. Some expectations don't get to follow me into the new year. Some versions of myself did their job and they can rest now. This is me choosing closure over urgency, because a new year doesn't require a new you. It requires an honest you. Today is about closing this chapter with peace. Tomorrow we'll start talking about identity, who I'm becoming, before we ever talk about what I'm doing. Take today slowly. Let reflection do its work. I'll see you in day 2.